Meeting of the Wheeling Plan Commission for Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Casper.
Present.
Commissioner Heiken.
Here.
Commissioner Sprague is here. Commissioner Riles.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer.
Here.
Chairman Johnson.
Here. Ms. Nyes, any changes to the agenda this evening?
Yes, if we could please move item 7A, docket PSP MIN 230016 to the end of the agenda, so the applicant has time to arrive.
All right. Let's see, we have no consent items, citizens' concerns and comments. Was there anything?
Well, right, if you want to talk about that agenda item, no, we need to.
Well, come on, gotta come up here.
Has Wheeling considered bringing the Bears to Wheeling? Put them on the golf course.
I don't think so, but
Okay. The other question I have is, has Smith requested a certificate of occupancy on the townhomes?
I don't know about that.
No.
No, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're skipping 7A, we'll go to 7B, which was continued. Docket number PSU 23-0008, request for a special use to permit a gaming establishment for Maze Lounge at 280 East Dundee. Ms. Nyes, this was continued from our last meeting when they weren't here.
Yes. So Maze is seeking to get a new special use for a gaming establishment. They currently have a special use to operate as a restaurant, which allows them to have their liquor license for gaming. We did not have a special use for a gaming establishment when they first came in, so they're licensed as a restaurant with a liquor license that covers their gaming. So now if they are granted this special use for gaming establishment, they no longer have to offer food at their facility. Food sales have been down for a lot of these gaming establishments, and so that's why we've seen a couple of them come in requesting this new special use that we had brought to the village in November of 2022 to give them this opportunity to do gaming establishment without food. So that is why they are here today. You want to come on up?
This is a public hearing, so I have to swear you in. So raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth.
I do.
All right. State your name and business address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Zelenica, business address, our corporate office, is that what you're, or just the Wheeling?
Whichever business address
We'll do
you would like to
280
use.
East Dundee Road in Wheeling, Illinois.
All right.
And could you spell your last name?
Z is in zebra, E-L is in Larry, E-N is in Nancy, I-K-A.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Did you have anything to add to what Marcy?
No, she worded it perfectly.
Okay. And we can just, we've been through these before, so I'll just ask if any of the commissioners have questions on this particular item.
No.
Nope. To my right? No? Commissioner Casper, any questions?
No, sir.
All right.
We
In
do
that
have,
case-
sorry, we do have the
I'm
two
sorry.
conditions.
Yes,
Did you want me to read those?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
before we ask for a motion.
The number one is the hours of operation shall be consistent with liquor licensing. And number two, within 30 days following the granting of the special use ordinance, the petitioner shall update the Wheeling business license with the Community Development Department to reflect new management. You guys aren't new management. No, we had this in the other one, sorry. To reflect the change in use to gaming establishment. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So with those conditions, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
PSU 23-008.
So moved.
Second.
Meyer and Casper. Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Casper,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Riles,
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. Okay, you're, you're part of the building. What is that?
I don't know what that was.
Tornado warning.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, you guys will go to the village board on August 7th at the
August 7th.
same time
Okay, perfect. Thank
for
you
the
so much.
final vote.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Casper,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right. We have 7C. Docket number PSU 23-0004, request for a special use to permit the operation of a daycare center for Kids Island Learning Center at 135 North Milwaukee Avenue. Mr. Secretary.
Kids Island Learning Center, 3, property owner is seeking special use approval pursuant to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19.10, use regulations and associated sections in order to permit a daycare center located at 135 North Milwaukee Avenue, which is Zone B3, General Commercial and Office. A special use is defined in the zoning code as a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to the potential for negative impacts on the surrounding properties. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including but not limited to how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that their request meets the standards for a special use as established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting material submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you. Ms. Nyes.
Okay, so we have a request here for a daycare center. This is just the request for the special use. The petitioner will need to come back to get minor site plan approval, which is the first condition we have on here. We had some things to work out. So this is just covering the special use. The petitioner owns both of these buildings, if you can see on the aerial here, and the building in question is just the north building, and the school is proposed for the first floor of this north building. There is another business that occupies the second floor, which has a separate entrance to Milwaukee, or the parking lot, probably both. So we're just talking about the first floor of this north building. You've seen the staff report. We have a parking analysis in here in the report. The one thing that they do plan is that they potentially plan to have special events that might, occur 3 to 5 times a year that would have approximately 80 participants. We figured that wouldn't be 80 cars, that there would be 3 to 4 people per car, so that parking should be sufficient in this parking center. Based on our parking calculations, there's enough parking for the uses at both buildings. And the special, or the conditions that we are proposing are, number 1, minor site plan and building appearance approval by the Plan Commission is required for outdoor playground, fencing, and any other site modifications, including upgrades to the exterior lighting and landscaping, and must be obtained prior to any installation, construction of said improvements and prior to the issuance of a Wheeling business license. And number 2, a Wheeling business license must be obtained from the Community Development Department before daycare operations begin. Is this the one where we wanted to add? Yeah. I talked to Attorney Maluzzi, and we did want to request one more condition. Let me just pull it up here. And that was that, number 3, the petitioner shall obtain DCFS approval prior to the village releasing the business license. We typically have that in there as a condition, but staff just missed it and did not have it in there. And the DCFS does require a playground. So the playground is proposed on the north side of the building in this little courtyard, and it would be fenced off, but the fence is what we haven't worked out yet with the petitioner, and that's why they're going to have to come back for minor site plan and appearance review. But the playground is required by DCFS, so the playground can be part of the discussion for tonight because it is, their special use is contingent upon having the playground.
Gotcha.
That's what I have.
Thank you. All right, is the petitioner here?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, this is a public hearing, so I need this very end. You swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yes,
Thank you. State your name and business address, please.
my name is Chris Zapanik, 135 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wheeling.
Do you need the spelling on
We
that
have
one?
the name. We have
Okay.
the
Yeah, it's a kind of difficult one, so.
Okay. So, tell us what your plans are.
Me and my wife, Monica Narwat, we own and operate 4 daycare centers already, northwest suburbs, one in Algonquin, Hanover Park, River Grove, and currently one in Northbrook, which we want to move into Wheeling. The reason, we've been operating in Northbrook for the last 10 years. The reason why we want to move it, the Center on Deafness, we've been leasing that area from them. Last year, after COVID, some of the funding, they lost some of the fundings for the programs, and board of directors decided to put the building on the market. And that was my notice that they're going to sell it, so I started looking for some opportunities in here because it's such a short distance across the aisle, basically, and opportunity strike, and I figured that would be a great place for to have a daycare. So we're not expanding, we're not planning to expand. We currently have 74 license for 74 kids in there. Same's going to be in here, I believe 76. So it's nothing. Now it's not going to get any bigger. Basically, just move the business from one town to the next. And I perfectly understand it's a downtown area, and I understand the concerns of the village. We're not doing anything on the exterior except lighting. We're improving that to all LEDs and a new style, so we'll reflect those 2 buildings because they're 2 nice buildings. So they're gonna look great. Clean them, of course, outside from just either power washing or whatever's going to be required. And with the part of the the playground area, we're going to work on that one too. I believe that's a special permit just for. I always apply for special permit just for playground area. So and that has to be approved by, of course, by Development Commission. But the rest of it, we just basically, we've been in a business for 14 years, and our record is clear, and we exactly know how the process goes. That has to be approved by state fire marshal, DCFS, and of course village and all that stuff. So, so we've been through the process before. We know how to work with the village and get things done the right way and safe way.
All right, very good. Marcy, anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. All right, so we'll see if the commissioners have anything. Let's start at Commissioner Casper.
Could you ask
I don't have any questions.
about the fire? Oh, okay.
You didn't have anything? I'm sorry, I missed that.
No.
Okay. Commissioner Heiken?
Yeah, I have a couple concerns. First of all, thanks for considering Wheeling. That's a spot that needs to be filled, but when I looked at it, the playground is like right on top of Milwaukee Avenue.
We've been working with Mr. Nitch in here on putting a bollards
Okay,
and then moving back the wall of the playground away far as we can from Milwaukee Avenue to protect the kids.
so are there DCFS regulations about how close that,
It's only away from transformers, of
Okay.
course, high traffic area, but they're not giving you specifics how
Okay.
far away.
and do they limit you as to what type of fence you're going to put up?
It has to be at least 6 feet tall. They're not specifically, they don't want what you call a chicken wire, all right? They just want a solid fence, could be wooden fence, could be anything. So as far as the on the DCFS side, you can find all those specifications. But
Okay.
I want to work with the village to match the building, to match
Right.
that section,
Right.
so it looks great. So I'm going to use whatever is required by the village to.
Okay, and have you talked to any of your neighbors on the other side of the fence?
We send the letters requires to, and as far as I know, there was some lady, I believe today, someone called me today, kind of just being worried about noise and stuff like that and traffic, but I told her it's going to be like a regular playground during the day, so
Okay.
it's just going to.
So it's not going to be all, and it's not going to be all day either?
No,
Just parts of the day.
we're planning to operate, of course, with the village approval from 7 in the morning till 6 o'clock afternoon. So bottom line is the early morning hours, we just got to have few kids in there, and all of them in the building. Same thing with the later hours, because once the parents heading back home from work, they're just picking up those kids one by one.
Correct.
So we don't have a group of parents at once and we close, it's just dropping off the kids and picking them up throughout the day.
Okay. Yeah, those are the only concerns that I have. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. You'll get a chance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. First we get to ask, and then we'll open it up. Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening.
Good evening.
Also, to piggyback onto the concerns on how close the playground would be, are you not planning any kind of access in or out on the west side of the playground?
No.
Okay,
It's going to be solid wall.
okay. And then also for drop-offs, that would only be in the back?
Yes, there's only one entrance.
Okay.
To the whole area.
So there won't be any entrance
There
on
is
the
no
Milwaukee
other
Avenue side?
entrances. No,
Okay.
not at all. And actually, physically, parents has to bring the kid into the building, because that's our requirements, and it's been working so far. We want to see the parent, we want to see the kid in the morning, same thing afternoon, just for safety reasons.
As far as the trash enclosure, are you going to do any repairs to that trash enclosure?
It's already in there. It's up to the village. My plan is to replace the taller fence, the old one, the 8-footer that you can see on the picture. That put not a wooden one, something that's going to look good. It's on my property, so I'm not sure if I have to talk to the association from other side, or I don't know how that goes. So, but there will be a special permit for that. It's not going to be like any additional stuff. It's just going to replacement. So I will work with the village to, if I have to require a new permit for that, it's fine.
Because I noticed the gates on that trash enclosure are warped quite a bit.
I was honestly out there yesterday checking on it. And if you guys want me to make any improvements, I did have to put some warning signs because there was like a dumping area for some people. So I just put the civilian signs out there and it stops. So if I have to put the padlock on it, it's no big deal because we know when the truck's coming in and out, we can open it for him. So that's what we're doing in other areas, trust me. It's been...
Yeah, I just, with it warped the way it is, I don't even know if you'll be able to lock it up.
It's on, as far as the daycare goes, it's on the south side of the property, so it's far away from that. So it's like I'm saying, it's a fairly newer fence. But like, if you guys want me to do something else to make improvements on it, I will. So I have no I mean, anything you guys, want me to do to
Well,
make things look better and walk better though.
If the gate could be replaced, that would be great.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and then I just wanted to mention, you did say that was being used as a dumping ground. I noticed inside there was a lot of junk in front of the ComEd switching center that's inside there.
I was working with my landscape guy. He trimmed all the trees. They removed all the branches that was laying around, all the garbage that was laying around. That was done during the winter time even, when there was no snow on it.
That ComEd equipment that's inside your
It's
trash
not,
enclosure?
I don't have access.
No, I'm just saying that can't be blocked.
I understand it perfectly. No,
Okay.
they will not be blocked.
Okay.
There's no, actually, those are stripes now, I believe, in there, and they will remain in there. There's no parking spots in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as far as items inside the trash enclosure, you can't be blocking that equipment that's in there.
Absolutely
Oh,
understand it.
Okay,
Yes.
just so you understand
Yeah.
that. And then,
But you're talking about the picture that you guys showing in here, that's on the transformer, and that's not a garbage on the other side of the lot.
oh, that's not a trash
No,
enclosure?
no, that's not a trash,
That's
no.
just to cover up the
That's just a
equipment?
cover to keep the transformer away from everyone. Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
it's all right.
so the junk that's inside there now needs to be cleared away?
Yes, but I don't have a keys to it, the ComEd does.
Oh.
So I will work with them.
To the gate itself?
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay.
so honestly, I don't, I will call them up and,
Yes.
so they can come in.
Someone's thrown a bunch of stuff in there, so it's kind of in the way.
It was kind of nice for them to, I don't mind to remove it, but I don't have access to it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One last question. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Where they're proposing to put the playground is marked a fire lane. Is that going to be permissible to have that playground
So
there?
we went out there with the administration from the fire department and took a look at it. And realistically, that would not be used by the fire department in an emergency situation. It's curbed on the side, on the Milwaukee Avenue side, it's curbed. And for us to put a rig over there in, any kind of emergency probably would never occur. So we would either stage on Milwaukee Avenue or be in the parking lot. So we determined that, we would allow them to use that space.
Okay, great. That's all I have.
That is a tornado warning. Should we be going downstairs?
Yeah, if it's going off, we should go down. There's a shelter.
All right.
You can either go to the basement or the first floor locker room is a shelter as well.
All right, so we will temporarily suspend this meeting due to weather.
So, yeah, I would say go to the first floor locker room.
down the line here.
And we got the official thing from
The okay from Bob.
Bob. Okay. I'm nervous about it, but
Like he said, they would never use that anyways.
it's just the fact that they felt they needed it the first time. All right. Is everybody that was here back?
Oh, they went to the elevator.
Oh, okay.
He's got to put the audio back.
Yeah.
Yep, he probably got it. We're all good.
We're good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. All right, so where we left off,
Call back to order.
oh. Calling a meeting back to order following the tornado drill. And we are discussing the request for special use for the daycare center. So we were up to Commissioner Riles, I believe.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
after that big intro I just gave you. Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson. I had a couple questions, if you don't mind. And again, really appreciate your willingness to work with the village and be compliant. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
My couple of questions are this, and I may need the fire department to weigh in here. Certainly I have no problem with the area proposed for the playground, but what I am wondering is, I believe presently that is a fire lane. Does that have any impact relative to the property itself, if that fire lane is no longer available because that's the daycare center playground?
Yeah, no, again, we took a look at it this past week. We went over with the administration and walked it and kind of determined that we really, in an emergency situation, we're not going to be putting a rig in between the building and that little space and stuff. They'll either be in the lot or they'll be on Milwaukee Avenue. So
Okay.
it wasn't a concern to us.
Okay, thank you very much. That helps. And then the other point I wanted to clarify, I think I heard you correctly earlier that parents will need to park and then bring their kids into the building.
Yes.
And I would assume similarly when they pick up their children?
Correct.
Okay, because that was my other concern about, again, there's not a lot of circulation in that parking lot. People really do have to park. It's not as though they can just, drop the kids off and go on their merry way.
We're planning to get open from 7 in the morning until 6 o'clock afternoon, and our daycare program starts from 7. Our learning program starts from 9:30. So parents have the time from 7 o'clock till 9:30 to drop off their kids. So they gradually dropping them on the way to work.
Okay.
So it's not like simultaneously everyone come in and 70 cars pulling in.
Good.
No, it doesn't work that way. It just in batches, I would say that way.
Okay.
Few cars at a time.
Okay, thank you very much.
You got it. And I will go a little further as far as the inspector saying in here. The way I'm seeing those yellow lines in there, I will actually extend them because I don't want people to park because it's a transformer in there. So I would even paint them a little further to make sure no one's parking on it, though. So it's kind of my way of seeing it, though. So,
Excellent, thank you.
thank you.
No further questions.
All right, well, my concern was the parking and the fire lane, so that's been answered. It's not an easy strip mall to get in and out of.
I know perfectly that's not easy. I've been there during the rush hours and some during even the weekends. There's a little island when you're driving back, and I mean not an island, it's a median. When you're pulling out southbound from that area. So if you clear the lines, northbound lines, you can kind of wait for southbound lines to clear. So there are businesses operating in there, and they've been kind of wanted to get second entrance in there, but of course I told them right away I'm not even planning to do so. So the School of Russian Mathematics is in there at this time, and because when I purchased the building, I have to recognize their contract, and of course they're staying in there, and cooperation is great. So they have those flux of cars simultaneously picking up the kids because they're finishing their class, but they have like 20, 25 cars, and it seems like they've been working well. So so far so good. Honestly, I didn't hear from anyone of those there was any accident out there.
How is their timing going to fit with your time?
I think they're opening at 5 at o'clock afternoon. So, and we planning to close at 6.
Oh, so they're
So yeah,
more of an
we will
evening
have
thing?
maybe like 10, 15 kids stop.
Okay.
Between 5 till 6. Depends how parents on their job, what time they have to pick up their kids up. So,
Okay.
so majority of their kids are gone by 3 o'clock, 3:30. So.
All right, ma'am, you wanted to, you got to come up here.
Oh, we have a chance to talk inside the shelter area, so.
So you're okay?
Yeah, no, I asked about the north entrance, and the gentleman explained that it's going to be locked off.
Okay.
Because of the playground, and I had a question about the Russian school, so you asked that, so.
All right. All right, any other questions from our group? Nope. So, Marcy, conditions?
Yes. Those are messed up. Number 1, minor site plan and building appearance approval by the Plan Commission is required for the outdoor playground, fencing, and any other site modifications, including upgrades to the exterior lighting and landscaping, and must be obtained prior to any installation, construction of said improvements, and prior to the issuance of a wheeling business license. Number 2, a wheeling business license must be obtained from the Community Development Department before the daycare begins operations. And number 3, petitioner shall obtain DCFS approval prior to the village releasing the business license.
Thank you. With those conditions, do I hear a motion to approve PSU 23-0004?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Hopefully you got it right.
Not as confusing now.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Casper,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, so you will be going to the village board meeting on August 7th,
All right.
and that's when you'll get the final vote,
All right, meanwhile, my general contractor can file that,
the permits and
permits
stuff.
and stuff.
And then we'll see you back here with the site plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need a motion to close PSU 23-0004.
So moved.
Second.
Meyer and Riles. Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Commissioner Casper.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right. Docket number PTA 23-0001, request for a text amendment to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19, zoning and associated chapters and sections. This is all stuff you're going to end up reading too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I just hand it over to you.
Okay. Sounds like a deal. A petition by the 50/50 Group, doing business as West Town Bakery, property owner seeking a text amendment.
Start up again. That's the tornado siren again. Looks beautiful out there now.
How close does it have to be?
I don't know who triggers it.
I'm not too sure, but it said it was till 7 PM, so
That might be an all clear as well.
possibly, yeah. It doesn't look like there's anything in our area right now.
Yeah. Okay, well, continue your reading.
All right, I'm just going to start from the beginning here. A petition by the 50/50 Group, doing business as West Town Bakery, property owner seeking a text amendment to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19, zoning and associated chapters and sections in order to modify zoning regulations to include farmers market as a permitted special use within the MXC Commercial Residential Mixed Use Zoning District. A text amendment is an amendment to the map and/or text of the zoning ordinance which affects the whole village. In order to be considered for a text amendment, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including but not limited to how the proposed text amendment is compatible with Title 19 and a comprehensive plan. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the request meets the standards for a text amendment as established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
It was nice.
Very active.
Forgot where I was.
Okay, so we have a request for a text amendment for farmers market. So currently, farmers markets are permitted in the MXT zoning district, mixed-use transportation zoning district, with a special use. And the petitioner is proposing a text amendment, not just for their property, but for all of the MXC zoning districts, to permit farmers market with a special use as well. So I've provided a map here. These are the MXC zoning districts. So if this is approved, a farmer's market would then be permitted by special use in these additional areas. And really all it requires is a change to this one use table that requires an extra S to be placed in this box.
All right. So what areas are we talking about? All of the Weston property, right?
Yep, the Weston property, this big corner
Yeah.
north of Prairie Park.
That's the brewery?
Not the brewery, right?
Surprisingly, not the brewery.
Not the brewery.
Looks like Buca is part of it.
I think the brewery is B3 or B, one of the B districts. And then along Wolf Road, those commercial properties, and then Horker Farm.
We actually have a true farmer's market.
You still need a special use after, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you would still need a special use.
Yeah, it's not like all these people can go out there and set up tents. But, okay. Anything you want to add to the special use part of this, or
No, to
the
the-
text amendment part of this?
I think I'm on the next part too, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
unless anyone has questions.
Any questions from this group as far as the text amendment?
No.
No. No? Yeah. And is there anyone in the public who has questions? Come on up, sir.
Screw the Bears.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Sure, yes.
And state your name and address for the record, please.
Sherwin Began, B-E-G-O-U-N, 115 PP, Prairie Park.
Prairie Park. All right. What would you like to say?
I just did it. Why?
Oh, why?
What's the purpose? I mean, altruism doesn't count. I just like to know why he wants it.
Well,
Let him answer though,
I
right?
guess he'll have to explain why. Come on up and answer the gentleman's question.
Well, it's not altruism. I'm ultimately what I'm trying to do, sort of the long-term kind of master plan for this plot of land was to activate it as best I can. We've had we have a cannabis dispensary there. We have a consumption lounge, a bakery, a restaurant, and ultimately this is what we believe is sort of the anchor of the restaurant road. One of the things early on when we looked at this property that we noticed was, one, and now it's slightly different now because there is a market right over here, but there is really no true sort of farmer's market in Wheeling. There was also no real market that was able to focus on local vendors, local restaurants, on Restaurant Row, which theoretically is where those places should be. So as sort of part of our long-term kind of plan and investment in the property was hoping that this actually would be the least controversial of all of them, and we would find a way to bring more of the community, more of the local vendors to this street, which ultimately is bringing in a lot of people from outside of the community, specifically because of the West End, the lettuce restaurants, Cernello's. So that's ultimately why. But what we sort of see from a long-term perspective is finding a way to,
create a place for some of the local vendors to want to, and also local residents of Wheeling to want to come on to Restaurant Row. And we think that over the years, and frankly, as being open now for only about 4 months, we've seen that's our biggest challenge, is getting the locals out to that specific area, specifically over Lake Cook, where it's not very convenient to get to. So that's why I want to be able to pay the real estate taxes and pay the mortgage.
How do you profit from it?
I don't profit from it. I profit from it by bringing people to that strip of land, which I do own. And
What do you own?
so I own Westtown Bakery. I'm a partial owner in the dispensary, but mainly I own the real estate. So what I ultimately do is I activate the area. I create a reason for people that live in this community, that own businesses here or live here, to come there. When what we've seen so far, and early on when we sort of planned this out, we suspected was that a lot of people that live in Wheeling don't come along this strip. And so far, where I can tell you from my business is the majority of our business is coming from the West End. It's coming from the people that are coming from outside of this community to this area. So what we're hoping is by creating an opportunity for, you know, the local taqueria, the local whatever it might be, to have a little food stand here, some of the local craft vendors, it will not just pique the community to want to support this area, which is a lot of not locals on the street, frankly, in Milwaukee. It's a lot of big box brands, you know, your Benihana's. It's not a lot of the small guys. We're hoping to bring them and give them a stand of voice in the area. We're not actually looking to profit from the farmers market. We're just looking to bring them there, and hopefully they'll then come to the restaurant, the dispensary. That's sort of my end game here.
You mind if I speak for her?
Sure.
Well, you know, if you grab that microphone, because we have people, okay, because we have people at home that are listening.
Sure. I don't see how a farmer's market is going to enhance the property. Do you also have the strip mall that was recently enlarged?
No.
Just
that corner property, between these.
Just the far end?
Correct.
Okay. When I heard that Westtown Bakery was coming in, that's about a year ago, I was very pleased because I live in Prairie Park. However, when I went to visit Westtown Bakery, since they have been open, I was like massively disappointed because it's misnamed. It's not a bakery. You can just possibly buy a cupcake there if you wish, and a cup of coffee. I would like to suggest to the petitioner that if he wanted people to be drawn to the area so that they could visit the dispensary, that he creates a real bakery where someone could go in and buy a bread and a cake and a donut or a brownie or whatever, because we have no bakery in Wheeling other than, I think, down the street on Milwaukee, a Mexican bakery that's not, to my awareness, not very active. So that would just be my suggestion. I don't think that a farmer's market would be detrimental. However, I don't think it would enhance the property at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say, you can buy a brownie, you can buy a cake, you can buy a donut. We just started serving brunch about 2 weeks ago there. So it's all there. Maybe just come back and give us another shot. It's a big, big undertaking, and we're working on
It
it.
was pretty meager when I was
I don't know when you were there,
Yeah.
but
there.
we do,
Have this
All right, let's move on.
we do sell all that.
All right, so right now, we're just talking about the text amendment Was there anyone else that wanted to say anything about it? Any other questions here? Okay. So, do I hear a motion to approve the request for a text amendment?
So moved.
Second.
Casper Meyer. Commissioner Casper.
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right. And then we do need to close that docket.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Casper.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right. Now, moving on to docket PSU 23-0009, request for a special use to permit the operation of a farmer's market for Westtown Bakery, 781 North Milwaukee. Mr. Secretary.
The 50/50 Group, doing business as Westtown Bakery, property owner, is seeking special use approval pursuant to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19.10, use regulations and associated sections, in order to permit the operation of a farmer's market located at 781 North Milwaukee Avenue, which is Zone MXC, commercial residential mixed use. A special use is defined in the zoning code as a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to the potential for negative impacts on the surrounding properties. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including but not limited to how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the request meets the standards for a special use as established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you. Ms. Nyes, anything?
One of our conditions was regarding the site plan, and initially they had proposed the location to be within the ADA parking spaces, and now they've provided a revised site plan that moves the market out to the east. So we can modify our conditions and reference this new site plan. So our conditions would just be, number one, a temporary license shall be obtained from the Community Development Department prior to the start of the market events. And then we had requested a second condition, the open permits for OK Dispensary and/or Westtown Bakery, including all associated permit fees, shall be completed with the Community Development Department prior to the issuance of any temporary license for the operation of a farmer's market at the subject site. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Casper.
No questions.
Commissioner Heiken.
No questions.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, my only question was about moving it from the south lot over to exactly where they're going to now have it. So, no, I have no questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Riles.
Thank you. I'm just curious, how many vendors do you plan on attracting?
This year, so one, getting the farmers, and I think we're experiencing that over here, getting the farmers from, the ones that we want that are going to Green City, those guys, it's challenging because they need to know they're going to make money. So theoretically, I want as many of them as I can eventually. I want people to be drawn to here because right now, if I think from a farmer's market standpoint, Deerfield is probably the closest one that, you're going to go there and get some great produce. And I think that this property, ultimately, that's where I want to get to. And coming from with our restaurants in the city where we are active in a lot of the markets, the more the merrier. That's going to drive people. And a lot of these local vendors, whether they're local, crafts-wide, or farmers, they've got email lists and they've got people that follow them from fest to fest. So if we're able to eventually get them, or market to market, fest to fest, if we're able to eventually get them to come here, maybe it's on a Tuesday, that ultimately is going to bring those people that maybe were driving from Deerfield, Buffalo Grove to the city to see them, they're going to come here. So my answer is as many as I can get that are good. In the meantime, we'll probably only be able to do 1 or 2 this year. Most of those markets, they're already, those farmers we all want, they're already committed. We're able to leverage a little bit just because we buy from a lot of them in our restaurants. So this year it will be a fair amount of crafts. There will be some food trucks. It will be more locally focused on Wheeling businesses. And clearly I need to do a better job of getting people from within the Wheeling community to want to be a part of this business. So my answer right now is I want to be as open. If someone in this community wants to be a part of this market, come on in. We're not here to really try to, as I said, I'm trying to drive traffic to this strip. I'm not really trying to I will make no money off of this. I hope I answered it. So if you know someone that's looking to get in, bring them my way, is ultimately what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I get it. I think it's a very good idea from a business perspective, but from a community perspective as well, to try to unify a town such as Wheeling. I agree with you. It has to start somewhere, and it's important to bring community businesses and residents together because of what this community is representing and growing into. So I understand what you're attempting to do, and I commend you for focusing on the local businesses in the area, and particularly along Restaurant Row. So
With
I
the
say
point,
thank you.
local bakery, just because I got Westtown Bakery does not, there will be other bakeries at this place. This is, I came here about a year ago. I promise you this is probably my last time here for a little bit. But I came here a year ago with a bit of a vision to try to get somewhere, and obviously the dispensary I thought would be the most, this is the first time in a year anyone's had anything negative to say about anything we've done. And so this is that sort of completion of it. And whatever my risk might be in this property is what it is. But, you know, I'm here a year later going here because I do believe in the community, and I think there is a tremendous amount of untapped opportunity. Specifically, this is the first time, and Marcy's given my cell phone out now to hundreds of residents every time we've gone through the Planning Commission. This is the first time people have called me on my cell phone to say, this is a great idea, we can't wait. We've been looking for a reason to come here. Hey, we're not coming to your dispensary. We've been to Westtown Bakery, but now you're giving us another reason to be here. So that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully it will work out in everyone's favor, and people will look at this as the anchor of Restaurant Row, which is what I said day one is what I'm trying to do. If I'm wrong, well, you guys will not get real estate taxes out of there for a while because we'll have to move on. But I mean, this is a critical part of what we're trying to do.
I think it's a great vision, great opportunity.
Thank
and
you.
I think the rest lies in the community, and if they believe in what you're doing and if they can support what's going on.
And that's why I'm the one that comes here. I like seeing you guys, and I really do believe what I'm trying to do. And I think it's a special street. It just, you know, it's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Meyer.
I do not have any questions. They've been answered. Thank you. You have an audience.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see it back there. Come on up. Come on up. Got to swear you in. You swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth.
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Lori Gumbiner, 100 Prairie Park Drive.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Could you spell your last name?
Gumbiner.
Thank you.
So I'm a fan of the farmer's market, that's why I'm here. I live right across the street, love farmer's markets. But while I was researching, I'd written this on my calendar, I was researching the farmer's market, where to come if it was still having this meeting. Long story short, all of a sudden I learned about the farmer's market that's now going to be done in Town Center.
It's been one Tuesday a month since, what, March? April?
Yesterday was the second Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I mean, that was the first I had heard of that. My only question, I'm more in favor of you than, but I'm trying to understand as far as Wheeling as a community, it sounded, except for the few farmers that you're hoping to attract, which I'm all for, won't it be similar? Won't you guys be like competing?
Well, I don't say competing. Because I ultimately think that what they're doing.
You're gonna have to grab the microphone and you need to talk into it a little closer.
So I don't look at the farmers, I don't think it's competing. I think that we're giving people an opportunity. Specifically, we're going to give some local businesses, and they may not all be from Wheeling. There might be, my old friend that used to own Adobo Grill has a taqueria in Deerfield. I think it just gives people an opportunity to come to a centralized area, maybe walk around, maybe buy something, maybe not, but it gives people a reason to congregate. They don't need to buy anything. So I don't think we're competing. It's not going to be the same vendors. There's enough local vendors, I think, to go around. Now, what I would say, the challenge they're having here is getting legitimate, like the produce guy, and that's tough. It's tough because they're looking at all these different communities and saying, well, why would I want to commit my Tuesday here? I only have 4 months of the year to make my money. So that's why I'm saying right now, like it's going to be tougher in the next, we're going to maybe do 2 this year, but one of our investors in the real estate is pretty big in that farmer's market world, and we're going to leverage, the 20+ restaurants we have in Chicago to bring what I hope is a lot of these local vendors and out here. And the good news is they'll come once. But if we don't produce with locals coming here to support it, they won't be here the next year. So it really is like we'll have marketing, like we need to do our job to get them here and to keep them back. And we'll do our best. And if it doesn't work, at least we can say we tried. But, that's the idea, is to try to bring the community together. I'm going to count on that.
Okay. Yeah, we heard from the town center people when they were trying to set theirs up, how difficult it was getting vendors, and that's why they ended up doing one Tuesday night a month. Definitely no farmers per se there. It's all craft stuff and artisan things, which sounds like that's primarily what you're going to have, at least at the beginning.
This year, yeah. And listen, though, like, even we're not coming here and saying, hey, it's $500. We're just, come on in. That's all we're trying to do right now. Maybe this becomes something that can drive revenue to the location, which is what my best scenario would be. But if my best result on this is that the community actually believes that I believe in the community and that we make connections with locals in this, then I win. Now I know how hard it is to get the farmers, but on that last page of my presentation, there's Twiddly Bits. So she actually used to work for me at Westtown Bakery. They are investors in a couple of my restaurants, including this one. So I can guarantee you, though, that there will be some of those things in this place. Now, can I get McClug Farms? They're on demand. I'm going to try. Do they want me to order my $5,000 worth of blueberries every year that I use, that I get in the fall to make my blueberry muffins from fall to winter? Well, I might leverage that a little bit, and we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I don't want them to come here and not make money either, so I need the community.
Yeah, because then they won't come back.
Exactly. So I'm going to give it my best.
Okay. With the covenants and everything that exists on that property as a whole, do you need permission from any of the other owners?
They've all
to set something up like this?
So Spears, which might be one of my, that's where I was before this, and I had my bison burger. I also tried the potato soup today, which is pretty good. And if you've never had the stuffed banana peppers, they're also pretty good. They have been in favor of me coming. They want to come back next year and be like, let's do something bigger in this lot, because they look at this as an anchor and a great opportunity. Cernello, Lettuce, we're both board members in the IRA or Illinois Restaurant. We talk often, and they're excited. I think that what they're seeing, and I don't want to speak for the Melmans, but I think they're excited that there's going to be something new and interesting coming here. And I don't talk to anyone at Cooper's Hawk, but the people at Spears, I've probably not met anyone so far in this community that is that excited to be here. And frankly, I think it shows in the level of business they do. So they want to be a part of it.
Okay.
I don't think we need any permission. My biggest challenge really is more on the western side. I want to make sure that we are not hurting. I mean, our lots ultimately become their parking lots. You got Discover here this weekend.
If they have a big event going on, that place is full.
So I'm not coming here and saying we're going to do this on a Saturday at 6 p.m. I'd love to at some point. But everyone seems to be on board, and I think we've made good relationships with them, and I think everybody wants to see and is feeling much. What's so great about Spears is they do bring the locals to that place. I know many of you go there, and I think they see the value in this. So they're all on board, and that's mostly who I talk to, mainly because I go there.
Okay.
I would also just say, because I know I'm on the record, if there's anybody in this community that wants to be a part of it, like, I'm looking for those people. I want to know who the community follows around and who from this community needs to be introduced to a larger audience, because that is, that's what I think I'm doing at this location, is trying to bring a larger audience over there. So that's my purpose, and hopefully mutually beneficial, because I'll be able to pay the mortgage.
Very good. I know we're not talking site plan or anything, but I noticed on the Milwaukee Avenue end of the building, it still needs some cleaning up.
Milwaukee Avenue end of landscaping, painting.
Of the dispensary, yeah.
Okay.
It looks very weedy.
Yeah, where that old sign,
Yeah.
that old sign
Yeah.
is.
So I finally got through the insurance on that, and now I can start doing it, and we've got the bricklayer coming. So I agree with you, and now we're going to start on it.
Yeah, the front of the building, you got nice flowers planted, but that side that faces Milwaukee Avenue could use some work. Okay.
I will take care of it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Nope.
To my left.
Go
ahead.
I'd like to ask, how late in the season are you expecting to have this?
Well, they call it El Nino this year, right? So maybe we'll get October. But I think ultimately we're going to follow the markets. We're going to try to start these in May or June. And I think if we can get anything past September, we'll consider that a win. This year, we've got something planned for the end of August, assuming we pass our special use at the board. So there will definitely be something in August. There will definitely be one thing in September. What I hope to be able to do next year is either be every week. Theoretically, I want to be every single week. I want it to become, knowing that it's an investment, it might not be busy every week, but eventually people will understand that there's something there every Wednesday or whatever it is. And I think that ultimately it will probably go to right around Labor Day, if not a little bit after. Weather can be interesting,
Right.
as we all know, so probably no later than September.
Okay, all right. Other questions?
We can cover stuff, though. If it works, anything's on the table.
Right.
I'm just trying to bring people to that corner.
Right. Another question.
Sprague, yes.
Thank you. Will you try to avoid having it when the town center has it?
Well, originally, the only reason I had said Tuesdays was because 15 months ago when we started working on this, it was, no, you don't want to do anything on Saturdays. That lot's so busy, you'll not have enough parking. So we just said Tuesdays. But realistically, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever makes the most sense where we don't create people parking on the streets,
Well, they're only one Tuesday a month, so.
So far.
I'm not.
Right.
I want them to be successful too. I don't want
Exactly.
to compete with them. In fact, that would be the worst thing I could do, is create an enemy in this neighborhood because I'm doing it on Tuesday. This is about how many people can we bring to Wheeling, and someone who's living in Algonquin says, I can go to Wheeling on a Tuesday or I can go there on a Thursday because this is happening. So if they change their day to Wednesday, I'd hope they'd talk to me. But, I'm definitely not going to do it on Tuesdays if they are.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anything else? The other way? Yes.
Scott, have you worked with the Chamber of Commerce helping you with any of that?
I have. We've talked to them. And I mean, listen, like, this is a challenging property for me right now.
So all your ideas are great and they're wonderful for the community. The community's got to do something to help you as well.
You guys have been, the fact that you see me once a month and deal with me is one thing. So I can't ask for more from the village. We have a lot of firsts in the country.
Which makes you unique, which should be drawing other people to you.
It does. On a certain perspective, I'm not happy with my marketing team. I've also had people within the community take out billboards across the street from me and do things like that. I've seen 40% discounts on stuff I'm selling on my website. So I understand how the game works a little bit, but we are members of the chamber. We've been involved. We try to go to everything we can. Mm-hmm. I'm also aware that just because I decided to do something out here that might be ambitious, it's not going to happen overnight. So, also hence why I didn't come here 4 months ago and say, I want a farmer's market, I want this. I've tried to give the community a good opportunity to see that I am who I say I am. Maybe I'm wrong some of the times, probably most of the time if you ask my wife, but I think that I'm trying to prove that I'm a good person to be involved here, and I hope that over time the community will see that. When I hear that, I can get a coffee, like, that to me is my problem on a communication standpoint, that the community doesn't believe I'm a real bakery. And I always knew that was going to be a risk because, listen, it's the dispensary that's going to pay that giant mortgage. The bakery ultimately is partially an amenity. We've had breakfast and brunch going now for, well over a month, and I'm not seeing people in the community there. I see people from the hotel. So part of that is I'm not doing a good enough job on a marketing standpoint. But yeah, I'm asking for all the help I can get. Chamber, you tell me there's 5 more chambers, I'll join them all because I'm all in.
I appreciate all that you're trying to do. I wish there was more that we could, as a community, do to help you succeed even further.
Not to I know what a grind the restaurant business can be, so this is not a surprise. I've gone through this before. I know how it works. And, I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there, but I appreciate you even saying it.
Anything else?
Mr. Casper, you weren't here last time I was here, and I remember that. Just joking. It's nice to see you again.
All right. Conditions.
Yes. Number 1, a temporary license shall be obtained from the Community Development Department prior to the start of the market events. So I wanted to strike the second half of that referred to a new site plan.
Okay.
And we can reference the site plan in the motion. Where it references the site plan, I can just add today's date to it because it was submitted today. Number 2 is the open permits for OK Dispensary and/or Westtown Bakery, including all associated permit fees, shall be completed with the Community Development Department prior to the issuance of any temporary license for the operation of a farmer's market at the subject site.
So we've got some old stuff pending.
I think one of them was the generator. I think
I think there was the sign, a temporary sign permit, and the generator still hanging out.
The feather stand, which got ruined by the weather. So I think we owe you $37. We'll get there.
All right, that's a cheap investment then. All right. If there's no other questions, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Meyer and Riles. Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Commissioner Casper.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so
You will go to the village board on August 7th for the final vote.
I'll be in a newborn world, so you'll get to meet Amanda for the first time. So I'll see you guys at the end of August for the first market, I hope.
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
We now need a motion to close PSU 23-009.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is under the purview of citizens' comments.
Well, that was earlier in the evening.
It'll take me a moment.
All right, go ahead.
I've lived in Wheeling for many years, 11 years. I'm happy to be in Prairie Park, usually. And tonight is the first time I ever heard that Wheeling has a Chamber of Commerce.
Oh.
And it's the first time I ever heard that there's a farmer's market in the town center. So
Well,
I think you got some work ahead of you.
both of those things have been very well published.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really? Really?
Really?
They're in the,
Where?
they're in the Wheeling flyer that you should be getting.
I get the Wheeling flyer. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's been in there. And the chamber is very active, since
I'll read more carefully.
they have new leadership and, they're very active these days. Okay,
I have to finish the vote here.
yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Casper?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
Now it's
All right.
closed.
Now, can we go back? Do we have somebody here for Warespace?
You made it.
And in plenty of time, as
Yeah.
it turns out. All right, so what we have here is docket number PSP MIN 23-0016, request for minor site plan and appearance approval for a fence at Warespace, 301 West Hintz. Marcy?
Yes, so initially they came in and they wanted to put a fence around the east part of their parking lot for the businesses. If you'll remember, their business is, and I'm sure the petitioner can explain this better, they have a bunch of
Co-warehousing space, small warehousing space.
yeah, small warehousing space. So for the businesses that want to secure their vehicles overnight, but because there's a fire department connection on the east side, I should just let you do this. On the east side, we've asked them to move the fence to the west side, and so that's why they are here. And here it is on the site plan, showing it on the west side of the building. And then it's going to be a chain link fence with black slats. And here's what the rendering looks like.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, it's pretty simple. It's fenced parking. We've got some potential tenants that have IT companies and other things that they've got pretty expensive stuff in their vehicles, so they want cameras and a little bit more security to them for their insurance companies.
This is
and-
for like their service vehicles?
Yeah, their service vehicles, and it's some potential, some plumbers, electricians, a lot of tradesmen that have expensive tools in the car. Their insurance companies will give them a pretty good break if they're cameraed and secured overnight.
You don't have any indoor drive-in type store? Okay.
Nope, we got some bollards up inside to keep that from happening.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll make this quick for you. Commissioner Meyer, any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Chairman Johnson.
Commissioner Rouse?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Sprague?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I noticed there's some dumpsters over on that side. Will those be enclosed inside the fence also?
Probably not.
Because my next question would be, how would they be accessed then if they're inside the fence?
Are they further out here?
Oh, all the way in the back in that picture.
Oh, all the way in the very back. So it's not being, oh, it is being fully to this side.
Going all the way to the end.
Right, I was saying they could be put over here, but this is up to your property line.
Yeah. we've got the spots in there. We're going to have the automatic gate on it. We're probably going to have to just put them at the back center of that aisle, and that'll just be how we make sure people maintain their parking spots and people aren't pulling trailers in there, jackknifing over parking, do anything like that, because otherwise we'd eat additional unsecured parking, and we really don't have anywhere else to put it, because we put them tried to move them to the other side of the building, we run into the same issue with the rigs coming in to drop hoses, so they'll have to go in the center drive aisle there at the back, and just the driver will have to get an access card to the gate.
So you'll have a gate that doesn't have a header on it then, because the truck?
Yeah, the gate's gonna go sideways, yeah, it's gonna be an automatic gate that'll
And then how will they have access then? There'll be someone there to let them in? or-
No, we'll get them access, just like FedEx, UPS,
Okay,
all of those guys have access to the inside of the building. It'll be a similar access control situation to that.
Okay, great, thank you.
But I appreciate you bringing that up. That would have.
You're the only one that noticed it.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
All right, great, thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yeah, my question is more of a cosmetic question. The tree in the front that's on Hintz Road,
Yes.
what's the plan with that? Are you going to let that grow out, taking that down?
If it'll bush out, that would be nice. Our signs are going up on the building this week, so we'll have the signage up there, and we're going to be having some photography done. We really haven't looked much into it. The tree fell on the power line, and rather than get a few out, it is a big stump there. Fortunately, we are starting to gain some traction, painting the building, hopefully getting these banners off the building, getting some signs on the building, doing this secured parking is going to drive some more revenue, and we'll have kind of a little bit more capital to work with to do something out front, because I think with the building painted, we would like to make some upgrades to the landscaping and kind of do all of that. But we've got to get a landscape architect and really go through all of those processes. It's not really a weekend chore. Some places we can go in and kind of do it a little bit. Here we've really got to roll it out and do it right. So we definitely would like to get that. Basically overgrown stump. That's an eyesore right now. I'd like to do something with that.
That's all I have. Thank you. As long as it's in the plan.
Commissioner Casper?
No questions.
Fire department?
When they put the electronic gate, we'll ask to have our key switch put on there as well, so we can access the lot in case something happens overnight.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, that was the only question I had. So, Ms. Nyes, are there any conditions on this?
Yes, number just one, a building permit shall be obtained from the Community Development Department prior to installation of the improvements granted herein.
All right. How about a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Meyer?
Yes?
Commissioner Casper?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
All right, did you have your fence permit in yet?
Not.
No? Okay, so yeah, whenever you guys are ready, you can just submit it, and, it's approved here, it doesn't have to go any further.
Cool. Perfect. We will get that done.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so we have approval of the minutes of the regular.
As amended.
What?
As amended.
As amended. We had some amendments?
Just some typos?
Oh, yeah. Approval of minutes as amended of the regular meeting of June 28th, 2023, including the findings of fact for docket numbers PSU 23, 0007, 0008, 0005, 0006, and 0003.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Meyer?
Yes?
Commissioner Casper?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. Other business. Ms. Nyes, anything?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Sprague.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Commissioner Riles.
I don't, thank you.
Commissioner Meyer.
Nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Heiken.
Nothing for me, thank you.
And Commissioner Casper.
Nothing for me, thank you.
All right, things are moving along. I see on the London Crossing townhomes now.
Yes, the walls are going up.
Walls are going up. Once again, I would ask if anybody at home would like to serve on this commission, to please send in an application through the village website. We have an empty seat waiting for you. With that, how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Meyer, Riles.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.